Yo, what is up, everyone? This is your buddy Chukatron. Right now, I'm going to be doing one of the figures I've been waiting for a long time from the Studio 86, the Transformers movie. Here we got it, guys. The Leader Class Grimlock figure. This is the figure from the 86 line right now, the first Leader Class that we're getting from this line, and I'm so stoked because we're taking it right back to my favorite movie. Boom, the Transformers. We're gonna unbox this, we're gonna take a look at it. If you're new to my channel, I wanna say thank you very much for clicking on my vid. I'll ask that you hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell for more Chukatron content. Let's dive right into this because I'm so stoked that I got it and we're gonna do this. Let's just jump right in and take a look at the figure with the box. So right there, we notice that Grimlock is nicely displayed, and I can't really describe it that good, but he is big, man. He's beefy, really thick, really solid looking. When we look on the top left there, we notice we do have an extra figure, the wheelie figure, which comes with him. On the bottom left here, we notice that we got this nice illustration of Wheelie riding on top of the Dinobot King. And on the bottom there, we got the logo for the Transformers movie. On the bottom here, we got some more letters there. Transformers Generation on that side. When we turn to this side, we got the 86 right there with a better illustration of the characters. And on the other side, the same thing as well, Studio 86. And on the top there, there's that little display area right there, which allows the light to come in and gives the figure a nice, beautiful presentation. I love the way he looks in the packaging, guys. When we flip it over around, we notice it here. We have a little brief thing right here. It says big screen inspired. Let me see if I can put that for you. Big screen inspired, scale, detail, and backdrop. We have, again, the Autobot Movies logo. On the top left there, we notice that we do have Grimlock, and it looks like this is a not the final product picture. So if you notice it there, the colors and the shadings look very different. We got the neck right here, which looks translucent with some different things on the inside, kind of like the original G1 figure. And we notice that we do have some yellow right there on the toes, and his arms are silver. I don't think that's going to be the case because it looks a whole lot different from the inside of the packaging. On the right here, we notice that we do have the same kind of thing here. We notice that this has a more translucent plastic on this production picture. So this might have been pre-production pictures. They were probably going to do it like this, and they ended up just changing it. So on the top right there, it has Mockery of Justice. So I'm assuming that it comes with the Sharkticon pit right there. If you notice on the bottom, we have a nice backdrop display. So without further ado, let's crack this baby open and check it out. So here is a look at Grimlock with the inside bubble. So here's a look now at the inside display that comes with the figure. So when we notice it there, it looks like the inside of the Pit of Judgment. When we notice the scene where Hot Rod and Cup get caught by the Sharkticons, they come out and start fighting them. And there's a look at it spread out right there. And I think it looks really, really nice. And when we put it in the inside there, we notice that we do have the Autobot logo and the 86 Transformers. Another thing it comes with, of course, is the instructional pamphlet. So this is like the classic instructional pamphlet for this. Not that most of us actually read the instructions, because this is actually looking really good, and it's looking very similar to the G1 Grimlock. So I'm kind of stoked about it. So there's a look at the front and the back. All right, guys, here he is, man, out of the packaging. Man, I just took him out, and I got kind of like tears coming out my eyeballs right now because I'm just so impressed by this figure, man. OM goodness, this figure is just tons of fun right now. Man, this is like I have like a G1 toy in my hand, but just like, oh man, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. This figure so far, I mean, I just took it out and I'm just, look at me, I'm talking like I'm stupid over here. So anyways, took him out the packaging. Look at how awesome he looks, guys. Isn't he freaking gorgeous? Gosh, this is the best looking Grimlock I've seen in a while. In my opinion, I love it better than the Masterpiece figure. Now, I've seen the Masterpiece figure when it first came out, and it didn't get me stoked as much as this one did. So there's a look at the front of him there. Look at how awesome he just freaking looks. And I gotta say, he's big. He kind of feels like a doll almost. There's a look at him on the front there. We're going to take a look at him in closer detail. I just want you guys to just behold how awesome he is. Look at the back of it, guys. I'm so stoked right now. Look at this. This is awesome. Oh my gosh. I am just like, wow. We're going to start off by taking a look at the top section here. Let's just take a look at the head mold. And the head mold is just spot on G1 Grimlock all the way, dude. Look at all the details right there on his helmet, on his face. It's like a really dark gray plastic, and it just looks awesome, guys. Look at the face there, man. How awesome is that? Look at that. He does have this blue metallic little glittery paint right there on the visor, and how sweet does that look, guys? There's a look at the top section there. We notice right here that the this area is not yellow, it's actually gold, which I personally prefer because the G1 figure was it was like a chrome gold on that section there, and it kind of reflected better the inside part, so you could have seen the inside better. This right here is very reminiscent to the original G1 toy. It had that display area right there. It was a little bit lighter plastic, so you were able to see the inside a little bit better. I'm wondering if they're gonna make a custom piece that goes there, or you know what? I'm pretty sure you could just pop that off somehow and just have it looking like that, and it would have the same outline. So I might just end up doing that, but I kind of like the way it looks dark. When you throw it at an angle, you can see the Autobot logo right underneath it. And when we look at the midsection there, look at all the detail, guys. Look how awesome that looks. That is just, it looks like the G1 figure. And I still have my G2 figure that I painted way back when I was a kid because I couldn't get the G1 figure. It was not available anywhere. But when the G2 figures came out, I ended up painting them. So I'm going to show it to you guys later. Here's a look at his arms. Look at all that beautiful detail, guys. It just looks amazing. I love all this. Look at that. All that nice molded detail there. Now, when we look at the inside here, we notice that we do have a hollow point. I'm assuming that that's going to fold in like that. We could have covered that a little bit better, and I'm a little bit gripey about that, but they might just come out with a third-party piece that you could just fill that section. It's not too bad. I'm really just appreciating that we got this Grimlock. When we look at the arms there, we notice that his toes right here are painted gold, which is looking really good. And I don't have any paint issues that I'm seeing so far with this figure, at least mine. There's a look at the other arm, same thing. Beautiful detail. Look at his hands, guys, looking really nice. Love it. We look at the waist section there. We got nice detail on the crotch area, on the legs, and look at this, guys. Look at the feet, man. Doesn't that look like he's straight out of the cartoon? And I know this is for the studio series, but man, it just looks so great. When we look at the legs there, we have some blue glittery paint right here. We have some glossy red and green there. And this was, I remember the original G1 figure, it had stickers and stuff. So this kind of got adapted in the cartoon with these colors. Now, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna add paint details throughout just to make it look more like the G1 toy. When we look at the toes right there, we notice that we do have some black glossy paint right there on the toes, looking really good. And look at the feet, man. How clean. Look at how good the legs look. Nice and clean, man. They do have nice added detail right there. And when we look at the back here, man, I remember having to play with the G1 toy. And look at that, guys. It feels like the G1 toy. I know that this was hollow in the G1 figure, but just everything feels right about this figure. When we look at the bottom right there, we notice we do have some hollow cavities there. We do have some portholes right there, which isn't so bad. When we look deeper, we notice that we do have like some detailing of like boosters on the bottom. So there's a look at that and that. When we look at the back now, we notice that he does have his classic wings that will end up, showing off in the Dinobot mode. We notice we got details there, looking really good. His arms there, looking really good. I don't want to give too much away for the Dinobot mode, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to it, but that's how it looks there on the back. And I think it looks really clean, really tucked in, looking really awesome so far. I love it so far. Some gripes on certain things like the hollowness right here, but look at it, guys. We're getting this really awesome G1 Grimlock, and I'm so freaking stoked about it, guys. I think he looks awesome. Let's take a look at the articulation. So when we look at the head it's on a ball joint, so it can actually tilt really nicely in different directions. It can rotate 360 degrees. The arms can rotate all the way around 360 degrees. They have that little joint right there, which can allow them to go out and in about 90. The bicep does have that swivel point right there. The arms can rotate a little bit over 90 degrees, as we notice right there on that joint. The hands can rotate 360 degrees. which is pretty nice. Just gotta put it. And these joints are tight. The feel of this figure, some hollowness you feel throughout it, but it's really like, feels really strong in my opinion. When we look at the waist can rotate around 360 degrees, no hindrance at all. We look at the legs, they can go forward and back. So glad that they put this joint in here. This is like, this is revolutionary, guys. I'm so happy that this joint came out, because look at this. You can just get that full 180 range right there. So beautiful. Look at the thigh. We have that nice thigh swivel joint. Look at the knees right there. They have this ratcheting mechanism right in there. So it's really, really tight, which is good. And on the bottom here, we do have that 90-degree pivot point for the ankle. Before I go any further, let's take a look at him with some other figures for some size comparisons. Here he is standing next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime, the leader class figure, which is really just a Voyager figure. But there's a look at him just for size comparison. And look at that, guys. Look at the scaling between these two guys. That looks just about right for me. I like the way that, you know, he's way bigger than Optimus Prime, because I remember them just being really big in the cartoon. I'm also going to bring in the Kingdom War for Cybertron Cyclonus figure. Now, he's a Voyager class, and he's big. Take a look at him next to Grimlock. Look at how big he is next to Grimlock. He doesn't even reach Grimlock's chin with his bunny ears, so look how big he is, guys. This is a leader class figure. This is what I'm talking about. That's a legit leader class figure. Look at the size of him. And for giggles, here's a look at him next to the Voyager class Hot Rod, which is just a deluxe figure, but look how big and beefy he is compared to Hot Rod right there. And for old time's sakes, bam, this is my custom Grimlock, my G2 Grimlock. I had this Grimlock when it first came out, way back in like 92, 93 it was. And yeah, there's a look at my custom Grimlock that I ended up painting silver because I didn't like the G2 colors. I was a fan of the G1 Grimlock, and they didn't have them in the gray, but I ended up getting a blue one, which I ended up painting in the 90s, this silver paint, which I'll probably just end up cleaning up and just restoring it. But there's a look at him right there next to my good old buddy that I played with so much when I was younger. There they are. So now let's take a look at the accessory. Now here's a look at his blaster that he comes with. Now from what I remember these being rockets. So I believe it was rocket launchers that he had, and these were 2 rockets, but I think in the cartoon they changed it to like 2 guns. So here's a look at the side of it, on the top of it, and the other side. This is basically the G1 toy accessory that he had with the G1 figure, and I think they just totally did it justice with this, because it looks like a huge version of the original G1 toy gun. So it has all that nice detail, and it just looks like a huge version of it, and it's really, really big. It's almost like, yeah, almost the length of his arm, and I think it looks fantastic. We have these 2 notches here, which I'm assuming is going to clip on somewhere else. We also have a hole right there, and let's see how it looks with him in his hand. Another way to have the gun here is if you take it out and you look at the notch right there, you can actually store this on the Dinobot mode's arm. So if you see right there, you can actually just clip it right on the back for storage. I think it kind of looks a little silly, but at least you get the option. Now on to the final accessory, the wheelie figure that he comes with. Now this is basically like an accessory more than it is an actual like figure. This is just to be posed with Grimlock and just hanging on Grimlock. So there's a look at him, and I think he looks really, really good, being that the G1 was just horrendous. Probably the worst Transformers figure of all time. Everybody knows that G1 wheelie was horrendous. So here we got this really nice looking wheelie. Looks very faithful to the G1 movie cartoon, and I think he looks great. He's got all the colors there that just makes him pop right out. And first off, he does not transform. He has very limited articulation, so this is just meant to just attach to Grimlock and just be displayed in different kinds of poses. So we'll take a look at the head mold there. I think they did a wonderful job with the mold, with the coloring. We notice the silver and blue metallic paint. We notice the gray on the inside there. The helmet looks on point. When we look at the back there, there's hollowness there, and you're gonna find out that there are a lot of hollowness points throughout all his limbs. So when we look at the inside there, we notice we got some hollowness there. we have some hollowness here, and on the inside of his legs we notice we do have hollowness, but it looks really great. Like I said, but compared to the G1 figure, this thing is really nice, and we really got some nice paint apps and little details here and there. He has that nice Autobot logo with the pink paint, the orange and the black, looking really good. Let's take a look at his articulation now. His head can tilt left and right and around. It's on a ball joint. It can rotate 360 degrees. The arms can rotate around 360 degrees. Those are on ball joints too. Now it does have this joint here to kind of give him that inward motion, and that looks really good. His hands look really good. They're in the pose for him holding the slingshot like that. This arm can rotate 360 degrees. He does have the slingshot piece that looks really good. Just a simple slingshot right there, and that arm looks really good. Like I said, they don't have on the joints here on the elbows, they cannot move, so he's just meant to like display like that and like that. So that's pretty much it. When we look at the legs can rotate forward and back 180 degrees. He has no knee articulation, but look at the legs, guys. I think it looks pretty good compared to the G1 figure, and you can only have them like that, kind of like standing up a crotch, but I think it looks good. The legs can rotate like that. They can go out and in, and if you look at the points here, these little points here are to hook up to pegs. We'll see later on, and you can actually attach Wheelie there, or if you want, he has a peg right here that can attach to Grimlock's shoulder. So if we look right there, we can attach him right there, like if he's sitting on Grimlock's shoulder, which I'll show you right now. So you can kind of just like have him like that, just hanging on Grimlock's shoulder, like a display piece. So if you want to display Grimlock Wheelie like that, you can. So overall, it's not too bad. I mean, people are going to gripe about it. I'm assuming that they're going to come out with a Legend Scale 86 Studio Series version of him, because he made his first appearance in the movie, so we might see that. Overall, he looks pretty good. You can have him in like these little cool poses. I'm not too mad at him because I have a feeling they are going to come out with a another figure of him. So there's a look at that. Alright guys, so on to the transformation. Gonna love this, guys. This is very similar to the original G1 figures. So what I'm gonna start by doing is I'm probably gonna just do the bottom portion, then I'll do the top portion. So first, what I like to do is just take this heel right here, fold it 180 degrees that way, boom. They kind of just stay right there in that position. Next, what I will be doing is taking this part right here, folding it out like so. Do the same thing on the other side. And next, what I'm gonna do is on the knee area right here, what you want to do is just kind of rotate. You notice that it does have one joint here and one joint here. You're going to want to fold that up like so, loosen it up, and what you could do is just kind of just flip this to this section like that, and there's two tabs right here that kind of just hook up right there. Boom, you can leave that like that. Go do the same thing on the other side, and as I'm doing it, this section right here is moving inward, because if we notice it there, it's kind of like a looped into a joint right there, so you can actually move that from side to side, and as you turn it, it kind of goes in that position. So we're gonna fold that back as well, and once we got them right there, what you want to do is just snap these points together. Just go like that, put them like that. We'll flip it over around, and what I'll do next is I'll take this portion right here and I'll just unfold it out, extend that to the bottom like so. So if you notice, it has like a double hinge right there. We're gonna just fold that section out, go like that, and then what we could do is just fold this thing all the way back closed again and do it to the other side. So you're gonna flip both these closed, and you can just snap them in like that. So now we notice that we got the whole bottom half and the tail section of his Dinobot mode ready. Let's move on to the top now. So what I'm gonna do next is I'll take the hands, I'll fold them in about 180 degrees so that they're tucked into the cavity. Boom. Next, what I'm going to do is take this chest area, unsnap it. This also has like a double hinge right there. If you notice, that whole section flips downward and kind of just locks into place like that. And next, what I'm going to do is I'll take the head section, fold that downward, leave it in that little cavity. Next, what I'll do is I'll take the wings, bring them in like that, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. So we're just going to fold them in, and when we notice it there where there's two peg holes and two pegs that just clip right there together. And next, what we could do is we could just kind of just loosen these arms and bring them outward Boom. And finally, what we do is just flip the head forward and then just turn the head down like that, 90 degrees. So there it is, guys. Easy, simple transformation, the way they all should be. And look how awesome it came out. That just looks fantastic. So let's take a look at him in his Dinobot mode. Okay, guys, so here he is in his Dinobot mode. And look how awesome he looks, man. Total faithfulness to the original G1 cartoon, and I love it. There's a look at him on the side, on the back, and on the other side. Really looking nice. We'll take a look now closer. We'll start off at the head. Now look at the head mold, guys. Look at that, looks great. Wow, look at that. He has all the detailing of rivets on the top there. He has this section here. Remember the G1 toy kind of had that detail like that. On the other side there, we notice the eyes are painted reflective blue paint, which really looks good. The original G1 toy had that red, but this is reminiscent to the original G1 movie. So overall, it looks really good. We noticed that the mouth there, we can open that up. And when we open it up, it does have a little part right here, which you can put your blast effects, I'm assuming. And right there, we got some little detailing, kind of like a tongue. Now, what gets people a lot is the gap right there. They doesn't have any teeth there. That doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. I really don't care. Now, I'm assuming that that doesn't have it there because you probably want to put the blast effects on it. And that the teeth would kind of get in the way. But I think it looks pretty good. So you can open up and close his jaw like that. And you can actually tilt his head on that point right there. You can also rotate this section, this whole part of his section, so you can kind of have him like that, or like this. You can have him in a lot of different cool poses, which I'll show you later on. We noticed on the neck area there, that's painted this nice gold paint. I really like the way that looks, with very minimal detail. It's not like the translucent way, kind of like I liked the translucent style and the chrome in the inside, but it didn't look right on the Masterpiece version for some reason. I don't like the fact that the way they looked on the Masterpiece, so I'm kind of glad that they went with this. Looks really good in my opinion. When we look at the mate section there, he does have that classic Autobot logo. This section right here, really nice details like the original G1 toy. The arms are not chrome. I kind of wish the arms were chrome. That would have been nice, but like I said, this is modeled after the 86 movie, but I do think they look really good, and they do rotate in a way. They can actually pivot. They can rotate all around. They're on this nice ball joint, so they do have a lot of nice range, and it also can move like that on that elbow joint, so you can have them in a bunch of like different little poses with little stubby hands, kind of like that if you want to, or whatever way you want. We look at the other side here. He does have this nice detailing reminiscent to the original G1 sticker that had that on the side. And there's a look at the leg. Looks really nice. That was his arm, obviously. So the legs look really great, and I really do like them. They do have the same articulation as the arm have, so they can rotate like that. They have this other joint here that this thing kind of has like two joints, like a zigzag joint, so you can actually bend at the knee right now in his Dinobot mode, which is really cool. We have some articulation on the toes, very similar to the G1 toy. Look at the belly, guys. Even the belly looks really good like this. The bottom section looks really nice. On the back, we notice we have those nice colors that was in the robot mode, and the tail just looks really good. I love the way it looks. We got that white tip there. Remember in the G1 figure, this was actually chrome, just like the arm. So overall, the Dinobot mode looks amazing. I love the articulation. Another thing you could do is you can actually take the gun, and if we notice on the sections that I showed you earlier, we got these two pegs. We can actually store the gun in Dinobot mode right there. There's actually two peg holes, so we could put that and store it right there. It's kind of tricky to get into, but let's see. So you can put it just like that, so you can have Grimlock holding it, and you can actually take the wheelie figure, and if we notice on Grimlock right there, he has these two little stubs right there, these little peg holes on the side of his neck. We can actually take him with wheelie. He has those two little peg holes. We can actually snap those right in, and you can kind of give wheelie that signature look of when he's riding on top of Grimlock in his Dinobot mode. So let's see if I can get it in there. They're kind of tricky to get to, but let me see if I can get it in. So we get that in there like that, and you kind of have to have it like in a side pattern like that. So boom, there you go, guys. You can put them like that, and there is the complete figure. And I think they did an awesome job. I love the way it looks in Dinobot mode. Tons of fun. So there it is, guys, my unboxing of the Studio 86 Grimlock. This figure is absolutely awesome. One of the best representations of Grimlock we've ever gotten. So this is a definite pickup. So till next time, you already know. Peace, love, harmony, and God bless you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, chances are you'll enjoy another one. Hit the subscribe and notification bell for more Chugatron content.